Dolphins and John Harbaugh. They hired a new defensive coordinator in Denard Wilson from the Tennessee Titans, and they officially filled the last biggest coaching role that was necessary for this team, and that was the offensive coordinator. The new offensive coordinator of the New York Giants will be Matt Nagy, former Bears head coach and Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator. Now, I know what you are all thinking. Is that the same Matt Nagy that got kicked out of Chicago for being terrible to their team? He started off strong. However, he ended up getting fired after 4 seasons. Yes, it is that same coach. However, Matt Nagy is coming over from Kansas City, working with Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, where he started off before becoming the head coach of the Chicago Bears. And in my personal opinion, I don't think this is that bad of a hire. Now, were there better options out there still? Yes. I do think Cliff Kingsbury was a better option. The head coach or the offense coordinator from Ole Miss. His name is slipping my mind right now, but he was a next big candidate because he worked with Jackson Dart in college. Davis Webb was another big name. He actually just recently became the offensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos. He was a quarterback drafted by the Giants back in 2017, so that would have been an interesting hire. However, John Harbaugh has never hired a brand new offensive coordinator in his past. I think all of them have had prior experience. Um, Actually, I'm not sure if that's the case, but anyway, we'll get right into Matt Nagy's stats. Going back to 2023, that's when he went back to the Kansas City Chiefs after his head coaching stint with the Chicago Bears. That year, they were ninth in the league in yards, 15th in the league in points, and overall, that's a pretty solid year. And then the following year in 2024, they were 16th in the year in the league in yards and 15th in points again. So we went back to back years of 15th in points. That's slightly above half. There's 32 teams, so 16th is the halfway point. So it's one spot above the halfway point of being in the middle of the pack. And then this prior year, 2025, Matt Nagy, the Kansas City Chiefs offense was 21st in points and 20th in yards. So as you can see, the past 3 years, he has actually declined in his stats. Specifically this year, it was definitely his worst offensive year for the Kansas City Chiefs. But there's a couple different factors for this. This year, specifically, the Chiefs, Rashid Rice, their wide receiver one, did end up missing the first 6 games of the season. He was suspended. I think he was like speeding or something along those lines, illegal action. And then also you have to factor in that Patrick Mahomes got hurt in week 15. So they missed out on 2 more games worth of Mahomes playing. That's obviously a very big deal because he is the best quarterback in the league. So overall, I do think the Matt Nagy hire could have been worse. Like I said, I'm not completely thrilled with it, but also there were other candidates that would have been worse. At least we know he has been in the league for quite a while. I think 18 years. He started off as the coaching intern for the Philadelphia Eagles in 2008. So Matt Nagy's been around the league for a while. He has had success in Kansas City. Granted, it is with Patrick Mahomes. He is the best quarterback in the league. Matt Nagy really didn't need to do much with him, but he is bringing over maybe some philosophies from Andy Reid. He's one of the best coaches in the league. So it's going to be interesting to see how his play style translates to Jackson Dart's play onto the field. And I'm also going to get into a little bit more specifics of the Chiefs. I keep saying Chicago, but it's Kansas City Chiefs offense. So overall this year, they were ranked 20th in offense. Their passing offense was rated 23rd. All these stats are from PFF. They posted a 65.5 overall passing offense, and their rushing offense was a little bit better with a 77.3 overall rushing offense. And then their total rank was, like I said, 20th with a 71.4 overall offense, ranking them there It is slightly underwhelming for the Kansas City Chiefs, considering they were literally in the Super Bowl last year. They've won two Super Bowls in the last 3 years or 4 years. They're expected to be great, and this year was slightly underwhelming. I don't think it's all because of Matt Nagy's play style. He calls a little bit more running back passing options, tight end passing options. The Chiefs really didn't have a true wide receiver one. I mean, they had Tyreek Hill, and this year they didn't really have a true wide receiver one until week 6. And overall, the Chiefs offense did take a step back. Now, I'm going to summarize basically all the three big new hires in head coach, defensive coordinator, and offensive coordinator, and how I think their coaching styles will translate to this team. So, John Harbaugh, he's going to bring discipline to this team, something they haven't had in a really long time. He has more of a hard nosed type of style of play where he's going to dominate up front physically. Offensive and defensive line are really going to take over the games. They're going to control the pace of play. So John Harbaugh is obviously going to instill a lot of confidence in this organization. I mean, he's completely changed the culture. He's fired everyone, and we're going to start fresh and build the way he wants to be built. Next, Denard Wilson, the defensive coordinator from the Titans. He's going to play a little bit more attacking defense as opposed to what the Giants played this year under Shane Bowen. This year, the Giants were more rush for, nothing special, drop however many into coverage, cover two, Tampa two, and really just no special play calls whatsoever. It's just a straight rush, no stunts. The secondary wasn't really disguised. It was just drop back. And as we all know, the Giants defense was not very good. I think they were ranked 25th. So it's going to be interesting to see the switch up. Denard Wilson's going to bring a little bit more secondary disguises. And up front, I think we're going to blitz a little bit more this year, which is exciting for everyone. I think it'll really loosen up a couple guys like Abdul Carter. Brian Burns is going to eat again, probably. Hopefully, Dexter Lawrence can get back on track. Darius Alexander, the rookie who started to kind of hit his stride later in the season, maybe he'll benefit from more of a blitzing style. And then we also have to see the linebackers we continue to roll with, whether it's Micah McFadden, who's a free agent, or Bobby Okereke, who is a cut candidate. He would save a lot of money, but we might move forward with him. And then Matt Nagy, he's going to be more, like I said, running back, tight end focus. We all know Travis Kelce the past 3 years, 4 years. Granted, he's out of his prime. He still is one of the top targets in that offense. It goes Rice, then Kelce. And the running backs in Kansas City have all been pretty good. I mean, they don't have a real star in the running back room, but they all contribute in some sort of way in Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco. So that's going to be cool to see. Matt Nagy, hopefully he can take some mental or physical traits from Mahomes and maybe instill them in Jackson Dart. I'm not saying Jackson Dart's close to Mahomes' level. I think he's clearly the best quarterback in the NFL. But if he can become a quarter or a half of what Mahomes is and take some of those traits away, I think that's a big win for this entire organization and the offense. So overall, I do think this is a pretty good hire. Matt Nagy, like I said, not the sexiest pick, but he has been a good offensive coordinator in the league for a long time. And I just overall, you just have to trust the John Harbaugh process. Even if you hate Matt Nagy, I won't disregard that. But if you believe that John Harbaugh is the right coach for this organization, which I feel that most people do, granted his experience, Super Bowl winner, 14th most wins all time, you have to trust his vision and what he sees for the future of this team. And you have to roll with him if he thinks Matt Nagy is going to be the next great offensive coordinator. Let me know what you think below, guys. Thanks for tuning in again. Like, comment, subscribe, and remember, bet the over.